everyone from Italy. I really want to thank you, Chris, for this brilliant presentation of the wall. When you install a screen of this quality in a room, you don't want to compromise sound. You want the sound to have the same quality of the visual experience that you are having with this kind of screens. But positioning speakers in a room like this can be a little challenging. Reason being that we cannot put speakers behind these kind of screens because they are not phono transparent. As a consequence, we need to position the speakers around the screen. And for obvious reasons, these speakers must be extremely compact and discreet, but still have all the power and the quality that you are expecting in an entertainment room. In KRA, we have 30 years of experience in designing and manufacturing speakers here in Italy that have high performance in a compact frame. If I tell you that for this live concert, rock pop music, more or less 100,000 people, the PA is composed of speakers that are just 30 centimeter wide, you won't be surprised if I'm telling you that around this screen, there are speakers which are just 4 centimeters wide, but still extremely powerful and perfect for enjoying the vision of a room in a vision of a movie in this entertainment room. The speaker you are looking at is called the Viper KV52, and it's so slim and compact that it fits in the frame of the screen itself. 50 centimeter long, 4 centimeter wide, and only 2 centimeter deep, the Viper KV52 is able to deliver 100 dB peak at 1 meter. All this energy comes from 8 closely spaced full-range transducers. They are housed in an elegant chassis that it's available in any color and even in some special finishes to really disappear completely around the screen. All our speakers are made in Italy, and we use no plastic. As you can see here, the Viper, for example, is made of aluminum that it's not only a very durable material, so the speaker is really going to last long, but also makes this speaker perfectly suitable for outdoor applications as well. And if you open a K-array column speaker, not only the Viper, but also the bigger brothers, you will find inside only identical, closely spaced transducers. Nothing else. There are no compression drivers coupled to horns and waveguides. There are no ports. There are no passive radiators. There are not even crossover points in the speaker. This is a one-way speaker with an extremely pure sound, a very straight phase response. But even more important, the column be composed of only identical sound sources in the line. You can always join more units together to create a longer pure array. You can make the array as long as the screen, like we have done for Samsung home cinema room in Milan. And as you can see, in this case, there are 3 Vipers, one on top of the other. A long array that it's able to cover the entire room very uniformly. As we all know, the longer the array, the longer the throw. Very wide horizontal dispersion from these speakers, around 140 degrees. So we can really well fill the room, and very narrow coverage on the vertical plane. And that's why, because as we all know, a line array, the longer it is, the narrower is the beam in the vertical plane. So all the energy is focused, is concentrated on the ears of the people that are enjoying, for example, a movie. The same exact model of speaker can be mounted in horizontal to create a very unique center channel. We often recommend to install one speaker below the screen, one speaker above the screen, in order to create a virtual phantom sound source right in the center. That's where you want the sound of the voice of the actors to come from. Of course, the two speakers must be well aligned, perfectly processed, such a way that when you are sitting in the room, you don't have the feeling that the sound is coming from that speaker or the other speaker, but really from a virtual sound source in the center. And the processor from Trinov is really doing a great job in the calibration of this kind of configuration. So stay tuned, because after my speech, the Trinov processor will be introduced as well. Of course, when we install a speaker which is a pure line array like the Viper in horizontal in the center, we may have a problem. As I said before, pure line arrays, have a very narrow vertical coverage. So when you mount them in horizontal, you have a very narrow horizontal coverage. But if the room is pretty wide, that could be a problem, because you want that everybody sitting in the room can enjoy the center channel. That's why we created a special version of this speaker that it's called the Flood Mode Viper, where we electronically increased the directivity from 10 degrees to 60. So when you mount it in vertical, you create the array for the left and right channel, you go with the spot mode. When you go with the center channel in horizontal, you go with the flood mode. And now you really can cover the entire room very uniformly, also from the center channel. Now it's time, of course, to add the subwoofers, a very important part in any entertainment room. And we managed to make also the subwoofers extremely compact. They are extremely slim, and we made them this way so that they are extremely easy to flush mount. They completely disappear in the room. And in case you can't or you don't want to hide them, again, they are available in any color, in any special finishes. And of course, they are weather resistant, like all our speakers that we are presenting today. A full line of subwoofers, from the smaller to the little bigger ones, but all sharing the fact that they're extremely slim, easy to flush mount, with passive radiators dedicated to really extend the frequency response in the low end. And now that we have put some speakers around the screen and also added the subwoofers in the room, of course, it's time to think about all the other channels that we may have in a room, especially for home cinemas applications, for example. So rear channels, ceiling channels. Well, one of the specification that these speakers must have is to be full range. So for all these channels, we have a full line of full range speakers called the Domino. As you can see, they look really similar to our subwoofers. It's exactly the same chassis, and these speakers are seriously full range. Even the smallest of these families is able to go down to 50 hertz really flat. And so they are really the perfect solution to complete all the other channels that you may need in a room, like represented very shortly in this easy drawing. Of course, I just showed you an example of positioning some speakers in a small or medium-sized room, but LED screens can be mounted also in much larger venues. Well, our speaker solutions are scalable. So in case you need to cover a bigger room, you need even more power, we of course have little larger speakers, but still in this picture it's pretty hard to see this, to spot the speakers around the screen. If we zoom in, we see that there are two columns, a little bigger than the Viper we were talking about before. Instead of 1-inch woofers, here we have 3-inch woofers. We call this column the Python because it's bigger and louder, but still extremely discreet, and still, of course, composed of only identical transducers and sharing all the same capabilities of the other columns I just introduced. So a wide range of products to choose from, and all made in Italy, all the components made in Italy, always using stainless steel or aluminum to make them strong, durable, weather resistant, and yes, we have also a flexible speaker, the Anaconda, that most of you already know. It's kind of one of our iconic speakers and will be the subject for another webinar.